going on, everybody? It's Firezz here, and today we're going to be ranking all of the main bosses in the First Berserker Khazan. When I say main bosses, I mean the ones that are mandatory in the main missions. This game took me about 20 hours across a week to beat, and I really liked it. The deflections feel great. I'll show you guys my stats at the end of the game. I did a great sword build. I played on the normal difficulty, and so depending on your build, I would assume that your opinion on the difficulty might change, but this is my general opinion, so let's just get right into it. Easiest boss in the First Berserker Khazan is the Remnant of Adversary. I completely forgot that it was a boss, so I started recording right when I was about to kill it. That's how fucking easy it is. I think it's literally just a clone of whatever your build is, but there's really not much to say. You just deflect it and you break down its stamina like every other boss. It's like the only boss in the game that doesn't have a gigantic health pool, because it's just kind of teaching you that you're going to be fighting them for your summons. But yeah, it was so easy that I literally forgot that it was a boss, so that's our easiest boss. Number 16 is the tutorial boss, Yatuga. Yatuga is a great ending to a great tutorial. I feel like this was one of the best tutorials I've ever played in a Souls-like, and Yatuga is the perfect way to cap it off. He's not too difficult, but he teaches you that the game's not just going to hold your hand, and you get used to the brink guard and brink deflection times, and other than that, it's just a well-rounded fight. He has the purple health bar, or the purple stamina bar, rather, which in Khazan means that it doesn't get back up with overtime, which normally means, yes, thank God, I don't have to worry about putting on pressure. But he teaches you how to do your executions, or whatever they're called when you hit circle on them, right there, like that. And I feel like it's a great tutorial boss. He doesn't have a giant health pool, but he just teaches you the ropes, like you just learned on the tutorial. After him, you get to pick your weapons finally, but yeah, that's number 16, Yatuga. Number 15 is the Blade Phantom, the second boss in the game. The first boss where you actually get to use your weapon of choice. Blade Phantom is also a really good introduction for basically still finishing up the tutorial. This is going to be your partner for the rest of the game, so it's cool to get to know him in a fight like this. You don't get your Phantom form until after you beat Maluka, which we will not see till way later on the list, but I feel like this fight is good. The first phase is super easy, and you're going to be like, what the fuck, that was the whole fight? And then you get to the second phase, and I think I died once to it, but once you figure it out, you get the feeling like, okay, I can do this, and then you do it, and it feels accomplishing, and that's how Khazan feels. It feels accomplishing beating every boss, not just the hard ones, but the easy ones. And trust me, there are a lot of hard ones, but other than that, he's just got pretty basic moves, like he just punches and kicks, and he just has blood all around him. So that's number 15, the Blade Phantom. Number 14 is Shaktuka. Shaktuka is probably the first boss I would consider to be not like completely hard, but he's a step up from the other three, that's for sure. He's way later into the game. He's also got the purple health bar, but his attacks just sometimes will clip you like there. Now's a good time to mention, every clip you're seeing here is my first time fighting them, so obviously I got better as the time went on. He took me like 3 or 4 attempts. Some of his attacks just feel natural to dodge, and some don't, so you just gotta get a feel for it. Like, it'll take you a couple attempts. I pretty much did every mission like 10 or 20 levels under, because I only did the main missions, so just keep that into mind. Like, I'm doing no damage here, and you get XP from fighting the bosses the further you go, which is amazing, and more Souls-likes need to adopt that. I don't remember if he starts doing Plague or not. I believe he does when you hit him into his second phase, but other than that, just bring your Plague cleanse potions and just get your heals, and he's not too bad. Number 13 is Reese, the second to last boss in the game. You're expecting a giant battle, but she really just has the most telegraphed and basic attacks ever. Not to mention she has the purple stamina bar, so that always makes a fight easier. You'll see a lot of the purple ones way lower on the list. She's guarding the final boss, which you will not see until the very end of the list, I'm not gonna lie, but she has 2 health bars, and it really doesn't mean anything. Sure, she takes a lot of damage, but you do a lot, or sure, she does a lot of damage, but you do even more damage. Like, look at how much damage each of my strikes are doing. You probably break her stamina like 4 times in each phase, because you do so much damage to her stamina. I'm also under-leveled here. I can't even imagine how much damage you're doing to her at the actual level. But your Phantom form also, as you're seeing here, just kind of annihilates her. Just deflect her, get your counters, and it's really not too bad. I got the first phase the first time. I only died to her once, and then the second phase I got her into like 1-shot range, and then I died. But, you know, you can just... She likes to put these walls up that you can't walk through, as you're seeing here, so just make sure you don't walk into those, and just kind of hit her. I mean, there's not really much else to say. The second phase isn't that much harder. She gets a few more projectiles, but once you've seen them once, you can just kind of dodge them, and that's pretty much it. I don't have anything else to say. Not an underwhelming fight, because it's mostly cutscenes and lore dumps, but I thought the fight could have been a little bit more difficult. Number 12 is Bellaran. I don't know how to pronounce her name really, but she's a lot later in the game from some of the other bosses, not Reese, but she's one of the few caster bosses, and you'll see they're all kind of middle of the pack, the caster ones. Like, she has some melee attacks, and she's got a normal stamina bar, but she takes a lot of damage. She can summon, like, these ghoul things that are, like, they pester you a lot, and they're pretty cumbersome. And they take a lot of hits, but other than that, I mean, just deflect. Like, she also likes to summon other ghouls that, like, just attack once, and if those hit you, that's gonna hurt for a lot, but if you deflect them, that still hits her stamina bar, I believe. So it's mostly just a game of hitting your deflects. She likes to fly away and then cast shit at you, and you'll see a lot of the casters like to do that, but I feel like out of all the caster bosses, Beleriand is the easiest one, so that's why she's going here. Number 11 is Hismar, the third to final boss, and correct me if I'm wrong, but really the only dragon you fight in the game. Hismar's only real danger is his fucking health bar, and the fact that it's really hard to hit him. You can't hit him when he's doing nothing, which is really fucking annoying. You can only hit him when his head's down. Luckily for you, he likes to slam his head down, and thank God that they gave him a purple health bar, because my god, he takes no damage. I think my kill took me 14 minutes. I'm also really under-leveled. Like, I was probably 30 levels under here, but at the same time, like, holy shit. He likes to run around you and tail swipe, as you can see there, and there's really no real danger in his first phase. Like, it's just the most telegraphed shit. You break his purple bar down, then he lays his head down, you get some damage in on the head before you go for the critical attack, and you just rinse and repeat. You could also, as you can see, those horns like to light up when you hit them, and you're able to break them off and do a shitload of damage. But the only reason that he made it this far, minus his health bar, is the second phase, because he starts using Chaos. And as you'll see, bosses with Chaos are the hardest bosses in this fucking game, because if you get too much Chaos, it starts taking off half your health bar. You wait for it to proc, and you'll think, oh, okay, I'll get the health back. Nope! You don't get the health back, you just get the ability to heal it back. So if you're out of heals, you're just kind of fucked. And that's really the only reason Hismar made it this far up. Number 10 is Elamane. Elamane isn't too bad. She doesn't really have any magical effects or anything. She uses lightning, but you're seeing the only thing that gets her this far up. That fucking shield. You can only hit her when that shield's not up, and that's like 90% of the time that shield's up. Like, you see there, you can only hit her on counters, and that just goes to a combo. But normally she's just like, no, fuck you, and I'm gonna keep blocking. That shield, you literally cannot fucking penetrate. Like, it is the hardest thing to get damage on her. That's the only reason that she made it up this far. As you see, it's not electricity, it's electrocution. That's what it is. She does this charge attacks that are kind of hard to deflect, and you can see all of her shit just revolves around her shield. And I know you have to fight her in side quests, and I'm glad I didn't, because I really hated this fight. She's a great character, and I like the fight, I just fucking hate that shield. And I feel like that's how shields would work in this game if there were shields for the player to use, but fighting it against it is the most annoying thing ever. Number 9 is Troka. I hated this fight. I hated Frost. It's not like a completely terrible effect, and thank God they gave her the purple stamina bar, because I was not trying to deal with that white stamina bar. Another one of our casters, she has this one attack where after you critical hit her, I think either once or twice, she goes up and just spams probably 40 projectiles at you, and it is the most annoying thing ever. She also uses that umbrella that kind of functions like Elamane's shield, and that's why they're right next to each other, because halfway through your combo, she'll just decide, no, fuck you, I'm stopping your combo halfway through. I really was annoyed by this fight, as I was annoyed by Elamane. When my attacks get blocked in these games, I tend to get annoyed, so these two fights were the worst for me. She really barely uses her melee swings, but when she does, it's just free deflects, but normally it's just projectiles, and when you deflect those projectiles, they don't do any damage to her stamina. And as you can see, as she hits you with her frost, it makes her stamina bar smaller and smaller, and you basically can only do one attack without having to run away and retreat. It is literally like the most infuriating fight ever. I think this fight probably took me like 6 tries, and we're starting to get towards the harder bosses, but I figured this is a good place for Troka. Number 8 is Scalpel. This is my favorite fight in the game. The architecture, his attacks, that fucking coffin. The fact that he has attacks with a coffin and can do what he's doing here and shove you in it is the coolest shit ever. This whole fight, I was like, holy shit, what is he gonna do? And the first phase is pretty difficult. Like, you feel like, holy shit, you feel really accomplished after you beat it. And then the game flashes, mission completed, and I'm like, okay, sweet. And then I noticed that I didn't get an achievement, and I'm like, what the fuck? And then it takes like probably a minute, and he gets to fuck back up with a whole other health bar with Plague, and you have to do an even harder phase that you have to repeat every time. And I thought that was the coolest shit ever, for them to do that fake out just out of nowhere. His attacks, like, you get the hang of them, but it took me a good 3 or 4 attempts to really figure out how to deflect some of his shit, especially in that second phase. But you can deflect most of his AoEs, which is huge, because you're going to be getting so much stamina damage on those. And you'll get to a point where the first phase becomes, like, almost no-hittable for you. Other than that, it's really his second phase that has the difficulty. Also, in his second phase, he's draining his own health to be alive. So you could technically just run away from him for the entire phase, but it feels like it's more fair that he's draining his health in that second phase. But either way, this is my favorite fight in the game. Number 7, Viper. Viper is the first 2-phase fight in the game, and by 2-phase I mean 2 health bars, and it is so early in the game. It's like the 4th boss you fight right after the easiest boss. You get through the first phase and you're like, oh, okay, that was it, I'm done with the mission. And then he goes into his second phase and you're gonna die immediately just from his string of attacks, and you're gonna just fucking throw yourself against the first phase of Viper just to try to get to that second phase. And with your time being played not even being like an hour at this point, it's just brutal. And that's what I like about this game. It's like they just want to punish you, but like at the same time you get your XP as you fight them, so it's not like they're actually punishing you. And that's the design philosophy of this game. Like, everything's difficult, but you're never not making progress, and that's what Khazan does that some Souls-likes just don't do. But other than that, for Viper, his first phase really isn't bad. He's just got some kind of generic attacks, and they're pretty telegraphed. Then you get into his second phase where he keeps all his same attacks and makes them faster, and then he starts adding like explosions and shit, if I remember correctly. And other than that, you're just main difficulty is going to come from his second phase, so that's why he made it this far up, and because he's so early in the game. Number 6, Volbanio. Volbanio is another case like Viper of he's so early in the game and your time being played is probably like 2 to 3 hours at this point, if you did like I did and just did the main missions. And his attacks are so punishing. They do so much damage, and when you get him to like, I think, 1/4 of the way down, he starts adding fire to his attacks, and that's not the hardest part. The hardest part is he does this attack where you have to run to the ladder, as you see on the right there, and get the fuck off the floor, because he's gonna blow up the entire floor, and you can't deflect it, and it will one-shot you. And then he'll jump up, and you can use this as a perfect time. After he jumps up, you could go back onto the ladder and he'll jump back down. And then while he's in the process of jumping back down, go back up top and get a plunging attack on him, because it does a shitload of damage. And you gotta watch out for his attacks where he puts his anvil hammer thing down and starts like grinding it with his other thing, because that just does AoE fire damage throughout the whole arena. I don't even know what this fight would be like if he had a normal stamina bar, so we could just be happy that he has a purple one. And that's why he's up this high, number 6. Number 5, Princess Ilina. We're getting towards the fucking Chaos users. Shout out to Princess Ilina for having the only bad run back in the game, and the only reason it's bad is because it has one enemy, and it's a fucking beefy enemy. But besides that, the fight in the first phase is doable. Like, she does these attacks, and it's like, holy shit, I don't even have time to react, because she's using a rapier. Is that how I believe it's pronounced? It's like a fencing sword, almost. And you have, like, almost 0 time to react to get a deflect on those. Then, as soon as you get, I think it's 1 or 2 critical strikes on her, she goes into using chaos, and she does these things that just do lines of chaos, and then you stand in the middle, and then she sends another one out that has no telegraph, and it hits you, and then she sends another one out once you move out of the way for that one, and it hits you again. She could also bubble herself in a shield where you won't break her stamina. You could do damage to her health when she's in the shield, but you're not going to hit her stamina, and it takes probably like 10-15 hits to break the fucking shield. She has so much health, and she's after such a long area, it's like, holy shit. As you're getting towards the end of the game, too. But the real cherry on top is the fucking chaos. That shit is gonna drain your health and half your health, and get you down to almost one-shot range, if not one-shot range, if you don't bring chaos resistance potions, and plague, I think it was. It could be wrong, though. But just bring your potions and just be ready for fucking chaos. Run any chaos resistant shit. That is my main tip for this entire game. Chaos is the scariest fucking status effect in this entire game. Number 4, and these last 4, and even Princess, I would say, are the bosses that are like, holy shit, these are harder than some of the entirety of other Souls games. Aratra literally has so much health, it probably takes 100 to 150 swings to fucking kill him. I guess he can, like, you could break his shit, but when you're as under-leveled as me, you're not breaking any of those arms, because you don't do enough damage in enough time. Those swing attacks are normally going to clip you, and with that last attack, it's really hard to deflect it. Not to mention how early into the game he is after the poison swamp area. I hated this fight. Thank God, once again, he has that purple bar, and thank God he doesn't do any status effects. I think he does some poison, but you're never going to actually get poisoned. It's just deflecting those fucking strikes. And as you can see, he blue smelter demons it. I know I say that in every video, where he delays the shit out of it. And this is where, at least for me, I first got the counter strike when you see the red symbol, and I was still trying to figure out how to use it. So I just threw myself at this boss like 10 to 15 times trying to figure shit out, and I would get him so low after like a 10-minute attempt, and I would just fucking freak out because I would lose. But I didn't hate the fight, and it's not venom, it's poison. Or it's not poison, it's venom, sorry. But that's why he made it up this far, because he's so early in the game and he just has such a gigantic health bar. I think he's tied with our last boss for the biggest health bar, it felt like, at least. Number 3, Rankus. From one wall being Aratra to an another wall immediately after oh my god, I can't even speak. After Aratra, Rankus is another wall. If Aratra took me 15 attempts, Rankus took me 25. We're starting to get towards the top, well, not starting to get towards, we are in the top 3, and these bosses are brutal. Rankus likes to grapple hook away and shoot fire at you, and if that fire hits you, it's gonna burn you, and at this point, you're gonna have no fire resistance, because he's also, like, relatively early in the game, and you're still getting a feel for it, and oh my god, that fire is just gonna shred you. Once you get down, him like halfway down, he starts having fire on literally every attack, and it's almost impossible to not get burned. Like, even when you deflect, you're still gonna take a little bit of fire damage, and that shit's gonna build up. And as you see there, he does those AoE attacks, and then he immediately goes into shooting you after. Like, it's almost unreactable. It's a great fight. The hardest part, other than the fire, is that he has a normal stamina bar. So no matter what, he's going to be regenerating stamina, because you can't be too aggressive with him or you're going to be getting burned. And sometimes, even when you hit him, as you saw there, he's just going to fucking keep regenerating stamina, because fuck you. That's why. And that's why he's our number 3. Number 2, Maluka. You know how I said from one wall with Aratra to another with Rankus? Well, guess what? Maluka's directly after fucking Rankus. The hardest 3-boss stretch in a game I have ever seen, by the way. Maluka's first phase isn't bad. He's a 2 health bar boss, by the way. He's just got stamina, and then you're going to get into a second phase, and he puts chaos on everything. A lot of his attacks, he telegraphs them, but he slows them down. You'll notice that with a lot of the hard bosses. They like to just slow their attacks down. You're going to want to hit your counters on him, and he has a normal stamina bar, obviously. But once you get into that second phase, he just starts doing slashes and shit with chaos, and you can deflect it, and you're still going to get chaos and lose half of your health. He has this one attack where he charges at you, and you can't deflect it. You have to dodge. Otherwise, it's going to pause the entire game for like 20 seconds, and he's going to literally full chaos build up on one attack, and you're going to lose half your health. It's a must dodge attack, or you lose the fight. It's probably the only attack in the entire game I would consider to be fight winning or fight ending. And for that reason, he's number 2. I really don't ever want to fight him or the last boss again, just because of how fucking difficult they were. He probably took me 30 attempts, but he's really nothing compared to. Number 1, Ozma. The man you've been chasing the entire game, the man who's corrupted the entire world, is our hardest boss. This footage is the only time that it isn't my first time. This is me fighting him again because I forgot to record the first time. I have this on easy mode here, so ignore the gameplay for this and just listen to what I'm saying. A lot of his attacks are going to just straight up half health you, and if you play any, like a normal build and don't do the build I do in every game, which is just put it all into health, he's probably going to one-shot you. The first phase is tanky, probably 50 hits, and you're like, holy shit. And you know he's going to have a second phase because it's the last boss. Once he gets into that second phase, he starts throwing chaos at you. He has an attack where he gets up into the sky and stays up there for a minute and just snipes like 30 projectiles a second at you. A lot of his attacks have chaos on them, per usual. As I've said, chaos is the hardest status effect in this game. Bring your status resist potions and bring your status cleanse potions. A lot of his attacks are just going to clip you anyway because he's the hardest boss. He's going to have multiple status effects. I think he's the only boss who builds multiple status effects on you, as you're seeing there. And they're just going to shred you. A lot of his attacks are just going to shred you, plain and simple. A lot of his attacks you'll deflect, and they'll still hit some AoE. He's got lasers, he's got swords, he's got projectiles, he's got fucking boomerangs, he's got fucking dirt. Who the fuck knows what he doesn't have? And that's our hardest boss in the first Berserker Khazan, Ozma. And that's going to do it for our Khazan main boss ranking. Thank you so much for making it to the end of the video. This is my longest boss ranking, and the game that's taken me the longest to beat for these boss ranking videos. I really enjoyed this game. It's amazing. You need to go play it. If you're a fan of Souls-likes, it's top tier. It's probably up there with Lords of the Fallen for me. Let me know your guys' opinions on the bosses in the comments, and let me know what games you guys want to see me do boss rankings for next. And I appreciate you guys for making it to the end of the video. Have a good one.